here with you until 6 p.m. in the afternoons. It's Thursday, which means, of course, the end of the week. We kind of like to look back at the week that was. That's the way that I describe it. And discuss some of the stories that you may not necessarily have even looked at because everyone's just been caught up in the headlines. One of the big headline stories, of course, has been the post office scandal. Well, joining me in the studio for my week in review, I have James Erskine, who is the CEO of youth marketing agency Rocket. You can get further details. Go to wearerocket.co.uk. He's also a businessman and an entrepreneur. So again, if you'd like to find him, you can go to X, formerly known as Twitter. I got it right that time.
Yes, you did.
Now, James, what is your take on what has unfolded off the back of this ITV drama with the post office scandal? It's been a whirlwind of a week.
It's been fascinating. A few things. One is the power of a big TV drama, because that's been incredible to go from coming out last week to Prime Minister's Question Time this week.
And a new law.
It really does show the power of the status quo doesn't have to be the status quo. I think one of the things that was amazing is we're in the mindset that new laws have to take months, new inquiries have to take years, and it's been a week and things have happened. It shows a new mindset, similar to COVID. We closed down the country in a week. We built a vaccine from nothing, and it shows that things can move quickly. The other thing, looking at the post office scandal through the prism of media, was two things that occurred to me. One was this story first came out, I think, in 2009 in Computing Weekly.
In Computing Weekly.
And they were the first people to look at the scandal. And Private Eye have run things. There was a BBC Radio 4 series on it, but it took a primetime ITV drama to move it from the back pages. The Times have done some work. But it's never been mainstream and it's never moved people. Yeah. And I wonder why that is. I wonder whether it's because these people are kind of voiceless in many ways. It's not a big political thing because it spans both Labour and Conservative governments.
That's right.
You kind of look at things from your own party political perspective. Yeah. If I can be alliterative and use 3 Ps. And it's interesting that nobody's really taken the power of this until we've seen the raw emotion in an ITV drama. And it was emotional. It was a tearjerker,
Absolutely gut-wrenching. I was speaking earlier on to Ashanti Omkar, who is a TV and film critic. Let's have a listen to what she had to say.
It is definitely one of the TV moments of the year already, and the year's only just begun.
Exactly. Yeah.
And whether anything else will be watched in this kind of masses in the UK, it will be very interesting to see, because this one really has made that impact. And I guess it's the human impact, because we're already going through a lot of crises, economic, we're seeing about war. And in that time, when you see something like this, and it draws you in the whole storyline, and it's about humanity coming out and saying, we want justice, which is exactly what it's done.
It's about the power of the people, really, isn't it?
It is.
James?
It's giving a voice to the voiceless. The other thing that was really quite heart-wrenching about the documentary was that the people that run the post offices in rural communities are pillars of the community. Some of the stories that you have heard subsequently about the different postmasters and postmistresses is they've been trusted with pension books from the individuals that are going into the post office to spend their weekly pension. They've been trusted. I mean, I had someone in my life, Bernard Smith, ran the corner shop and post office, and his wife Miriam would do homemade quiches in the corner shop and post office.
Nice.
And they were a pillar of the community. They were really important to that village that I grew up in. And that's replicated 1,000 times. And it was those people that never necessarily were making money from being... Often when you're taking the post office to those communities, you're doing it as more or less a public service. It's not a way to get rich quick.
Yes.
And it's they were the ones that were disadvantaged. The other things, and I know it's tough to comment on this,
sure,
but the way that Fujitsu have been kept out of the headlines has been incredible, because they created this computer system Horizon for the post office, and not many people until this week have started questioning Fujitsu. So that's interesting.
That's a very interesting point you make. We know that a spokesperson for Fujitsu has said that they've apologised for its role in causing suffering, but there are many who want more than just an apology.
Yes.
That's what you're referencing there, isn't it?
Yeah, and the fact that it's only really been this week that I didn't know it was Fujitsu that had created this. This has been relatively new information, and yeah, the scenes in the drama where people were on the phone to the helpline that was created to help people that worked at the post office, and where they were told that it was only them that this was happening to, was really tragic and really, really emotional. So yes, I am referring to the fact that I think Fujitsu so far have not been mentioned, and I'm impressed that they've come out with a comment. But yeah, I'd like to see more. The other thing is the CEO of the post office has returned her CBE.
Yes.
And there is talk about her returning her bonuses as well. So it'd be interesting to see whether that can happen and whether it actually will happen.
It's a very good point. You're talking, referring, of course, to Paula Venables.
Yes.
And there was a petition, wasn't it, off the back of the drama that was created, and literally within days, Paula Venables herself decided to give the CBE back. So stay with me, James. We'll move the conversation further, but I think it was right we spoke about this story. It's dominated everyone's conversations.
Oh, it's been the biggest story of the week, hasn't it? And it's been incredible.
Really has.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Texting 724 says, Shay, I wish I could find out what happened to my local post office family. I have never forgotten them. Thank you for that. If you are texting, please do put your name so I can say hello, hi, and to you as well. We'll continue with the week in review. It's now 3:31. Let's